Today we're going to create cinematic and natural looking sunrays with the Lightroom app. I got this image of a person standing looking outside the window with already light hitting in. I'm gonna first start with some basic tuning in light menu. I'll just increase value of shadows and blacks to get whatever few details are there in the darker areas. Now we'll start adding sun rays using the masking filters. First, I'm going to start with the top portion of the open window with a linear gradient filter. Dragging it to create a selection from top to the edge of the bottom of the top portion of the window. Trying a direction for the light here. Also moving the points to alter the feather. The closer the lines, the harder the feather will be. We need to narrow the selection now. Tapping the plus minus button, I'm going to choose subtract from mask 1, which basically subtracts the selection here. Here I'm going to choose linear gradient filter again, dragging this from top to the top edge of the window. As this is a subtract mask, this selection is removed from the first linear gradient filter, again placing and rotating it to the direction of the sun rays. Here you can see the exact selection mask. Tapping on the first filter to see the exact selection where we are gonna add some light. Working with the feather again. Now for this mask, going to the light menu and adding some exposure to brighten that part. In the effects menu, dragging the dehaze slider to the left adds haze, which is exactly what we want here, which gives the bright light of rays. I'm not gonna add any colors now, we'll do the grading later. We still didn't get the mask right as there is still some portion to be removed at the top. I will again use subtract mask and choose linear filter and place it here. Taking time to fine tune the mask here. Also, as the sun rays here will be directly hitting on the face, we don't need to allow the light to pass behind the person. So this time, subtracting the mask with a radial filter. Decreasing the feather for more sharper edges. I need to have the light till only the front of the face. So dragging and resizing the radial filter to get right amount of light on the face. Toggling the mask icon gives you visualization of the selection with a red mask. Now to add this to the second part of the window, we don't need to do it all again. Just need to long tap on the first mask and choose duplicate, which basically adds the same filter on top of the first one. Now just drag this mask to the next part of the window and place it. Here we may change the direction of the light just a bit to make it more interesting and also get a good separation of the sun rays from the first mask. So changing the direction of the filters here a bit. I want the sun rays to fall behind a bit here. So removing the radial filter which was used to subtract the mask. Also moving the linear filter here to get to make the selection right. Also adding one more subtract linear filter from the left. Dragging it to add a nice feather to the light here so that the light near to the windows is brighter and it dims as it goes further to the left. Similarly, I will again duplicate and add the rays to the other two open portions of the window. For the bottom part, I'm going to subtract selection with a linear gradient filter just under the arm so that the light stops at the arm. Just an artistic and imaginary approach here. We'll make a separate linear gradient filter on the left with a nice feather. We'll darken this part by reducing exposure. One main thing missing here is the rim light on the front portion of the subject. To add the rim light, I'm going to first add a mask using Select Subject, which uses AI to select only the subject here. Takes a few seconds. Now we have got a mask. In the light menu, brightening the subject by increasing the exposure and also the whites to make it very bright. Now I will subtract this selection with a brush filter. Resizing the brush and basically erasing out the mask. Changing the feather a bit to make it softer. Brushing out the mask everywhere but the front of the person. I'll remove the mask on the face as we already brightened it from the first mask. Carefully brushing out the mask to get the light only on the front portions of the person. You can see the difference here. Hiding the mask shows before, tapping on show for after. Overall before and after. Now for color grading. In the color menu, going to grading and choosing highlights, adding orange tones to the brighter parts and bluish tones to the shadows to get a nice color contrast. Adding some temperature for overall warmth. And also overall vibrance. Going to curves in light menu and tuning overall contrast. Adding sharpening in detail menu. Moving the masking slider to get the right selection here. Adding sharpness to those parts. So the main steps we used: adding masking filters for one portion of the window to create sun rays, duplicating it and placing on the others, adding some interesting light effects like rim light, adding color grading and some fine tuning at the end. The final result here. Hope you found the video useful and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.